Well, hello there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Ugh, it has been a week. That's all. I don't know. It's been a month. I don't know.
Yeah,
Year. I
it's
don't know
been
at
a
this point.
year for me. It's been a year.
It's
Like,
just all rolling
actually,
into one thing.
I agree. I agree.
So,
Um, oh, we got Alan. Alan's already here, and Luna Girl. Hi, guys. Thank you
hey.
for joining us. Yeah, thanks for joining us. This is our final episode of our journey to a galaxy far, far away. I cannot believe that we did this almost over a year ago. We started this over a year ago.
I
That's crazy.
remember when you guys were talking about it, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And then it's like, boom, blink of an eye, you guys are done now.
I know we're done. Like it seems surreal, and I just wish that it could have ended on a better note with a better movie. So hence why
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking so that we can get through to this episode. So you were showing me something before. You got to show everybody.
That's how I feel.
That's pretty much how it's our whole sentiment summed up completely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well,
if Joker Voice was here, he would be appreciating it at this point. So
I think so. He would say that was how he felt during Last Jedi, which, that's fine. That's your opinion. So
that's it. That's it. I agree.
But despite how this ended, Tiffany, I hope that it's been a good experience for you. Again, I can't. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it again at the end. Hopefully, I remember that. I can't thank you enough for taking Brandy's spot for us, so that we could kind of finish this.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be able to help. When you guys first started this journey, I'm like, well, there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. So this is an opportunity for me too, but also to be able to talk to both you and Brandy about it. It was a lot of fun. So
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's fun because we've all only had like Facebook Messenger to talk to each other about it. So this is unique and different, and maybe something to think about going forward with other things. This is a way to connect and everything. Hi, Nicole. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is a big moment for us. We're concluding our journey that we started over a year ago. So it's a big deal for us. So
it is a big night.
You're here. So, okay. So tonight, guys, we're talking about Rise of Skywalker, which we've already made known, hence the drinks, that this is not our favorite movie. In fact, I might hate this movie more than Attack of the Clones, and that's saying a lot. So we're gonna try to get through it. Hey, Brandy's in the chat! Yay! I didn't want to make any promises when we started if she was going to be here or not, because she said her internet was spotty. But hey, Brandy, glad you could join us for the last one. So
definitely.
Are you ending the? Oh, Luna Girl asked, "Are you ending the podcast?" So, this is like the last episode of our journey. But I know that Brandy and I in the past, and I don't know if we talked to you, Tiffany, about it, but we were talking about the possibility of rebranding, just to be able to open up to talk about other shows, which, I mean, there's a whole, plethora of things that we could talk about in terms of shows. So, I think that we're going to try to make something work by just kind of switching it up a little bit. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can make that work. So Dragon Buddy in the house. Hey, Dragon Buddy, thank you for joining us tonight. Scarif Scuttlebutt. Okay, before I begin, I've been a terrible person since I had to sort of take over for Brandy, because Brandy always did this, and she did an amazing job. But Ro from Scarif Scuttlebutt, I wanted to shout you out that I caught your show last night on mental health, and I thought you did a fantastic job. I think anyone that hasn't seen it really needs to check it out. It's certainly an important topic, I think, for today of all times. People should be talking about stuff like this. He really did a great job as, asking like thought-provoking questions like, who am I? Like, how do you define yourself? And the fears that you may have for, people seeing who you really are. Dealing with stress, how to recharge. I know Tiffany, like you, me, and Brandy, we've all been each other's rock in a sense.
Yes. Absolutely. For a lot of years, I wore a mask. I always tell everybody I wore a mask, and nobody really knew who I was. And I think that led to a lot of the symptoms and mental health that I deal with currently. And it's a process to change. So I would love to have that thing, the link for that. I would love to watch that.
I will send
Working
it.
on my thank you. Working on my mental health is a top priority for me right now. So
I think it should be a top priority for everybody. Because just watching it, I mean, I think it's such a refreshing, beautiful thing that people can just, be themselves and be vulnerable and be open. Like, I hate to say it, but Facebook, and social media, it's just such a facade, and
mhm,
people like are trying to project this image that everything is perfect and everything is great. And the truth is it's not. And I think we're
mhm,
all just sort of dying, starving to be authentic with other people and admit that
mhm,
no, we're not okay. Like,
mhm,
think this is a disaster or this is happening. And, not really looking for sympathy, but just looking for people that can empathize and understand with us. And I just think that that's a really healthy thing. And I give Ro total props for just putting that out there and getting those conversations going. It almost had me tearing up. Because he's like, I think of you guys as family. I love you guys. And I'm like, that's exactly how I feel about all of you. It's like you are
mhm.
all family.
Hmm. Well, and without you and Brandy in my pocket all day long when I have a rough day or something goes wrong, even if something goes right, I don't know how I could get through my days because I don't have, sometimes we don't have that close relationship with people we see on a day to day
Hmm.
because they are living their lives too. But, when you can just shoot off a quick message and say, oh, this is what I dealt with today. And for you guys to be able to understand, that's definitely something to just, put it on my mind at ease. So I thank you both so much.
Well, right back at you, Tiff. You've been there for me and Brandy too. We're all here for each other, and it's just, I love you girls, and I love all of you in the chat,
Yes.
DJ, and yeah, Christian. Thank you for being here with us tonight. So yeah, great pod, bro. Please, everybody, if you haven't seen it yet, it just aired last night. I think it's just called Mental Health Check, I believe. But I'll send you the link for that, Tiffany.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, so before we get into news, there is some housekeeping we have to take care of. I don't know if you see, probably don't see this. Maybe Brandy saw it, but about a month ago, Joker Voice had commented on one of our podcasts, and I don't see him yet. He's not here, but hopefully he watches this later. And I want to, sort of talk about this so that we can get to a healthy place of acceptance when it comes to the sequels, because I think some of us are still in denial that Disney's not going to retcon them or remove them. So Joker Voice wanted proof about where Favreau was said to be using the sequels as existing material for what he's writing right now.
Hmm.
And so I just kind of want to state for the record that all of this that I got was from the interview that he gave a year ago for the Writers Guild of America when they were asking him about his process in writing The Mandalorian and everything. Love you too, Randy. I'm so
Yes.
happy you're joining on the chat tonight.
Yay.
So I'm addressing a comment that Joker Voice had left on one of our podcasts about where we're seeing that Favreau is using the sequels, that he's writing towards the sequels. And so I just kind of want to go over what he said in his own words, so that we can all accept that, yes, the sequels are here to stay. So he says that he uses the existing material. And so he's always keeping that into a consideration. That's always part of the context whenever he writes. It says here he insinuated that he is indeed taking the sequel trilogy into consideration. He says, quote, "It became clear that within the established continuity, certain things were likely to transpire." He says, "We have a tremendous amount of freedom afforded to us because of the huge gap in time between the films." He's talking about the original trilogy and now the sequel trilogy. There's like
Hmm.
25 years or something.
Yeah.
Um, and so Dave Filoni and I are in constant discussion regarding how each story choice is impacted by and would impact existing Star Wars material. So I don't think it gets any clearer than that, that
Yeah.
are going to be writing towards the sequels. I mean, how do you interpret that, Tiffany?
Exactly how you do. He's just putting it to bed, I think, almost. He wants everybody to understand that, yes, no matter what your feelings are on it, it is Star Wars. And you know what? If you're going to do it the series justice, then you need to include the pre work to build up to what you then see on screen, just so it all is running together. As much as anybody else, I hate the word retcon. There are some instances where it can be beneficial, especially Ben Solo should live.
Exactly.
But
world between worlds.
Right.
There's a change.
I mean, you have all of this existing material, and now you have the sequels. You have the ability to write yourself, and not so much write yourself into an actual corner. You know what I mean? You have the ability to write how you want it to, with the end point, which is really hard for a lot of people in the first place, is how do I end it? Like, I know how it starts, but how do I actually end it? Well, now you've got the start and the end. So you just need to make the middle work.
Exactly. And they're already doing that. There's already evidence that they've been doing that. So like for example, in season 2, we saw those Snoke-like creatures in those like test tube things. So there's a hint that we're going to possibly be seeing the development of Snoke in the future. And also, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but in the season finale of The Bad Batch, when the Empire took Nala Se to one of their facilities, it was some secret facility, you see these clone officers show up, and they're wearing the same patch on their arms that Dr. Pershing was, the chief clone medical officer, was wearing. So there's an indication that here we go, they're going to be keeping up with the whole cloning thing. So you can see that they're trying to like plant those seeds now, so that it's going to make sense how the hell Palpatine came back to life.
Oh, you mean those Mack truck plot holes that we see? Yeah, okay, I like it.
Precisely. So it's another thing that, that was the thing that I had a hard time with the prequels, especially like Attack of the Clones and all of that Dave Filoni did such an amazing job with Clone Wars. He was able to kind of use that existing material and go back and make it a little bit more palatable. So I kind of been ignoring the chat, but I caught a couple glimpses that, Ro doesn't like the sequels, but, let me see if I find this quote. I may not like all the sequels, but all things lead to the sequels. So I agree completely. There's things that I hate about it, but we can't stop that. So I think it's just good to accept it, that this is the way it's going to be, and enjoy the ride, because and I'm going to end the pod like this, but we've got 2 of the best people possible in charge of Star Wars now, not JJ.
Not JJ. No.
They're not going to F it up. I think if they would have F'd it up, they would have done it by now, Like, so in Favreau and Filoni, we trust, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, see, I can't drink out of mine, because then that would be hold on. We're good, because I don't want them to go for the Johns. No.
Right. Brandy, put your Snoke in that pot. What does that mean? Snoke on soap? What the hell is going on in the chat? Oh gosh. Anything I can do to delay talking about the Rise of Skywalker, the better. So, okay, so it was very quiet for news, I think, that we discussed. I don't know how excited anybody's going to be about this. I mean, I'll probably watch it just because. But Disney is going to be releasing a documentary in their gallery section on Disney Plus for the Book of Boba Fett, the behind the scenes of the making of Book of Boba Fett. I'm not sure. It's going to be like all the other ones, like decisions they made and stuff. I don't know how interested I'll be in that, but I'll probably will check it out just because. I got excited when I saw this, that the new Obi-Wan Kenobi promo art features a new duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Oh, I
So
just saw that.
yeah. So I'm really pumped for that. I mean, we all know we're going to see Hayden Christensen come back as Darth Vader, but still,
Hmm.
just seeing it in the official promo art makes it like extra exciting. So,
I know.
did you see this, Tiff? Hold on. I can do
Oh,
Tiffany's gas. Nice. That's a very nice gas meter, Tiffany.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, it is. Okay, and then let's see. This isn't really that important, but Hayden Christensen binged the animated start. He binge watched the Clone Wars and Rebels to prepare for his role. So I appreciate his dedication to this. Would have loved to have had him on the pod to get his
Oh,
perspective on everything. That would have been cool.
I'm
Anybody?
looking forward to his redemption, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like from what he felt after the prequels, as opposed to now coming back and everybody, realizing that he did what he was instructed to do. You might not have liked it, but that's what he was instructed, how he was instructed to act.
Yep. I think he's going to have a much better reception after this. I've just got really good feelings. I personally missed him, so I'm excited for him to come back. I'm excited just for him, to be able to experience that. So, Brandy, you had asked about, where was it? Yes, May the 4th. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the date. May the 4th is when that Book of Boba Fett special is coming out on Disney Plus. So again, be sure to check that out. And I was sad when I saw this. Did you see the article about Liam Neeson says that he is only interested in returning to Star Wars if it's on the big screen? Did you catch that by chance?
No.
Okay. So I didn't get a chance to read this ahead of time. I'm very bad. Let me see. He's quoted as saying, "Oh, I think so. If it was a film." Yeah, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV. I must admit, I just like the big screen. What? That's kind of a crappy attitude. TV is like better than film these days.
That means I want this.
Can't you
That's
have
what
this
he wants.
on TV too? I mean, what is Pedro Pascal getting paid just to do the voice of the Mandalorian? He doesn't even have to show up on set anymore.
Yeah, but they've got a better opportunity to reap benefits from promotional items. It's more press releases, all of that stuff that goes into a big tour, as opposed to the actual TV releases. Think about the tour itself that they do to like really pump that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're paid for that.
That's
So,
true.
whatever.
I guess. Well, I'm extremely disappointed. I thought that he was. I don't know. I guess I just had the sense that I thought he was devoted to the character and to the fans. Like any opportunity that we could bring Qui-Gon back, and to me, the Obi-Wan series just made the most sense. And if he's not going to do that, then just F you, Liam Neeson.
I mean, he could be just blowing smoke because he doesn't want to give any hints to any surprise.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
I mean, if I do see him in Obi-Wan, which I guess is like probably not going to happen, then I'll lose my shit. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath. So
Okay.
yeah. Oh boy. So how was your week, Tiffany? You should tell me about your week so I don't have to talk about Rise of Skywalker. Because I've got in big bold letters, can't delay it any longer. I've got no more news.
Nope, we got no more news. There's
Oh shit.
I did it. I watched it. I finally watched it 2 years later.
And you did it for me. Thank you so much.
I did it for you and Brandy. Yep, I did it. And I texted you right after. I was not prepared to watch that show. So
yeah, no, I don't think anything would have prepared me. I think back on myself. What was that, 2019? How naive I was when I entered that theater. I had so many hopes and dreams for what I was gonna see unfold on screen, and then I just left, and it was like my heart was just ripped out of its chest and just,
I actually remember what I was doing and where I was when I was spoiled for what happened. I was standing at work in the middle of a project that I was doing, took my break, looked at my phone, and boom. And I have never, like, there was true violence at that point. Like, I just was like throwing a box and doing this, and I was just mad, and I was done with it, and I didn't want to do a Star Wars anymore. And I was just,
yeah. It's hard to believe where we're at now. Like, I think about that experience, having gone through that. It was just like that one show that shall not be named, that I compared it to an abusive relationship. I mean, truly, I have still PTSD from that. And I just think about like where we are now with current Star Wars content and the, guys that are in charge. And it's just, just got to kind of keep that in mind as we try to get through this, that things are okay now. So this is in the past, even though timeline wise, it's the future, but to me, it's in the past. So I'm just going to try to, think about it from that perspective. So, okay. So this is only the second time I've seen it. This is the second time I've seen it since the theater. So it really did feel like the first time. I have forgotten almost everything. So it's like all my notes in here is, I forgot this happened. I forgot this happened. One thing I didn't forget was I do remember rolling my eyes when I saw Palpatine and when I heard him. I'm like, this is so unoriginal to bring him back. Like, they couldn't come up with a better antagonist, Like, this was the best they could do. Like, I thought Kylo Ren was the antagonist now. He's the supreme leader, Snoke is dead. It just didn't make sense to bring Palpatine back. So, Luna Girl, you blocked it out. Yes, that's what you do when you go through a traumatic experience. You blocked it out. So, so I didn't forget that, though. I couldn't believe they did that. And it turns out even the actor himself couldn't believe that they were bringing him back because he's like, I thought I was dead. Which, yes, it's true. You were dead.
I mean, you knew it was going to be a bad start when the scroll says, somehow the voice of Palpatine shudders across the galaxy. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
That's how you said, like, you didn't even make it be a surprise. It was, here, this is the shit show we're going to start off with and just roll.
Right. Yep. I got to share this because, it's like, I knew it was coming because I remember from the trailer, we heard the laugh and I was like, they're not really going to bring him back, are they? Like, that just doesn't seem like the smart thing to do. I don't know, but it happened in Minecraft? What? Really? Wow, that's interesting. My son's currently obsessed with Minecraft, so that's all I hear about. But anyways, getting back to the movie, I did like seeing Finn and Poe together. I really don't ever mind them. I always thought they made a good pair. And I did enjoy seeing Poe flying the Falcon and Chewie losing his shit, thinking that he's going to crash the ship. Like, I did kind of enjoy that. Like, Chewie backseat driving, like, hey, watch the ship. Like, that was kind of funny, So I'm trying very hard to be, like, optimistic and enthusiastic, and it's not going to last long, I promise. It was fun watching Poe and Rey bicker, but again, these two characters have had like zero interaction over the course of the two films prior, that it really felt forced. So
it did. It felt awkward. You know what I mean?
Awkward. Like, yes, so much about this movie was awkward. All of it. Like I'm sorry, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and this really hurts me to say this because I love her. She is forever my space queen, but using deleted scenes of Leia from previous films and trying to insert it into the plot in the script was so cringy to me. Like, like I'm sorry, but it's like you're forcing the actors to act around and make a story out of deleted footage from another film, that was shot under a different script, under a different context. And I'm just wondering if they even had to do that. Like, I almost wish that something could have happened to Leia and they're trying to like carry on without her. Like, I feel like it would have just worked better, like the story overall. But there was just so many, every time I saw her on screen, it was just cringy knowing it was deleted footage. So, okay, Rose says, I actually like that, but again, I'm a tech guy. Okay, well, yeah, no, I get that. I did find the CGI thing much better than Rogue One when we saw Leia. Like, that was, I couldn't stand the CGI with that. The CGI was definitely better with this film. But still, from just a story perspective, I just didn't care for it.
I wasn't happy. Don't get me wrong. I was happy to see her in the movie.
Yeah.
But it was one of those forced things. Like, they tried to push it. Like, here she is. This is going to make everything all better. This is going to make the hot mess storyline work because look, here's Carrie Fisher. And it's like,
yeah. So that's exactly how I felt. Like, they just thought they could plug her in there and she would save the film. She didn't. I mean, I love her again, and I guess it's a great way to honor her character. I mean, I guess they had to. It's the last of the Skywalker saga.
right.
She's the last Skywalker, but yeah, it just didn't work. I'm sorry. I gotta share where was it? Sorry, I'm trying to find a quote that was in here. Oh yeah, I gotta share this. He did yell a lot in this movie, didn't he? He's a good yeller.
That's all he does.
That's all he does. I mean, it's so sad knowing like the potential that they had that he could have had for that character, and boy, just didn't happen. So it shows you how disappointed I was with this movie. When I first saw it, I had no memory that Lando showed up, or Wedge for that matter. Like, I was surprised when I saw them. I'm like, oh, it's Lando. Oh, it's Wedge. Look at that. So yeah, I completely blocked that out. It made no sense to see Lando. Like, I don't know.
Again, it was another one of, here's a character that everybody loved. This is going to make it better.
Yes.
And it didn't. It was totally just.
Can we just state the elephant in the room with this film? We can state the reason why we hate it. It's because they basically made the entire film to undo the previous one, The Last Jedi. And
yeah,
I get it. Like, they're trying to save their, what's left of this trilogy, and they're trying to get people to go to it. So let's just throw every single Easter egg of nostalgia at this film and just pretend that the last one didn't happen at all. It's going to make a great story. It's going to feel very satisfying when you watch it. And, that's honestly what it felt like. Like, they were just desperate to throw anything they could to try to just bring you back down to memory lane and just forget The Last Jedi ever happened. And
I hated how they jumped from thing to thing to thing. There was no continuity. There was just like hey, we're going to go do this now. Hey, we're going to go do this now. Like,
yes. Yeah.
And the immense amount of not talking in the key moments, I would say, like the first 8.5 minutes of Kylo Ren, no talking.
Right.
The critical spot at the end of the movie, no talking. Like, these are big points of dialogue that you should be able to capitalize on, and nope.
Yeah.
Guess they couldn't record in the closet again.
Right. No, I agree. There was so many missed opportunities with this film. It's just major disappointment. So yeah, the force healing, I completely forgot that Rey did that. And I guess, because that like was out of left field for me when we saw Grogu do that in The Mandalorian. Because to me, like, because I completely blocked out this film. That was to me the first time I ever saw a Jedi force heal a person before was Grogu in The Mandalorian. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Jedi could do that. But apparently Rey does it in this film with no training or anything, and she does it perfectly. So that's very plausible, right? I actually did love the character Zori. I don't know if you remember who that was, but that was played by Kerry Russell, and I love her.
The helmet. She
Yeah.
never took her helmet off. She just raised the visor for Poe, right?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Very good. Just on the first time, I'm impressed. That's awesome.
It was because it was a character I didn't recognize or know or anything like that, because let's just throw random people in that we have no clue, no background, no information, just here.
Yeah. It felt kind of awkward to just throw her in, but because it's Kerry Russell, I tolerated it. Let's just say that. And 3PO losing all of his memory, that was kind of sad for me. I will say though, I did love all the Reylo, like the angst in this. You know, so I'm glad that Abrams at least continued on a little bit with that and keeping their Force connection going. Even kind of expanding on that, like in the way that Rian Johnson had done in the previous film. Like that's one thing I guess that he didn't undo, because I was kind of fascinated by that. Like how far can you push this, the, you know, mythology or whatever regarding the Force, you know? And they really played around with it, which I thought was interesting. That's the one thing I thought was really interesting in this movie, the stuff that they did with those Force connection scenes. Oh, that line, I did want to take your hand, Ben's hand. Oh, why does he have to be so stupid?
I know.
Why? So yeah, that kind of tugged at my heartstrings. And this just completely broke my heart, discovering she was a Palpatine. Like, gut-wrenching. Like I don't even have words to explain. Like, just completely undo what Rian Johnson did, you know, in the last one. Like, you have to have a certain type of like bloodline in order to be significant in a story, I guess, you know. Like, you can't just come from nowhere and make something of yourself. Like, that's not, you know, whatever.
Right. And we go from Kylo looking into Rey's mind and saying, I saw your parents, I know who they were, they did this, to now I really know who your parents are. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing? Like, where are we just making it up as we go? I mean,
well, you know, it's interesting you say that, because when I was reading about this film, there were a lot of people that came out and said that they were actually like writing this script, like they were changing it every day, like it was changing on the fly, and it's obvious.
not surprised.
Not surprising. I thought that was like the biggest sin in film production. Like, you don't change the script in the middle of filming. Like, you know, the only one that I think was able to pull that off, like, was Casablanca, when they didn't know who Ilsa was going to end up with, you know, Rick or Victor Laszlo. For any of you film, you know, classic lovers out there, I'm actually a lover of old classics, but that was the like one time that they actually pulled that off, you know, changing the script on the fly. So yeah, I agree. It just, oh gosh, I hated it so much.
I know. I just wish there was like more development. Like, you don't, like somebody just said it in the comments.
True.
You don't bring all of these big things in the last movie of the series with the intention of shock and awe, and like, everything should be coming to an end at this point. It shouldn't be, oh, here's another question, here's another, you get a question, no answers.
Right. So many things were left unanswered with this. Like, yeah. Oh, Brandy, what do we got to say here? Not serious, but it makes better sense than the weird tension they tried to create between Finn and Rey. Oh, so we're talking about Finn and Rey. Oh, she's talking about. I actually approve of this. I totally approve of that. I could be a Finn Poe shipper, I think. Much better than Finn and Rey. I like that one comment. I'll never forget that. Like, Rey, I've got something to tell you. You know, like when they're dying. I know. It's like, are you serious? They're pulling this now? Oh, whatever. So, Okay. Do you have anything else I mean, at this point in the movie, like we're getting to the part where right before Ben like kind of turns to the good side, like anything you want to add with your notes?
You know what? I got nothing. At this point, it's just one big hot mess. Just I was not happy. Let's just say it was a struggle to get through for me, even though not even so much because I knew what was coming, but because every time I turned around, I constantly felt like I was going, wait, I missed something. Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused. Like all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, no, this film was just like whiplash, because again, it's like, running here to get this thing, and then we got to run here to get this thing, and we're going to undo all the stuff that happened over here. And, like.
Oh, and Finn is force sensitive and can drive a boat through these ginormous waters to get across.
Right, right. Yeah, you know what? That was a big plot hole. How is it? Because remember we're skipping ahead, but when Rey dies, Finn screams out, "No!" It's like, wait a second. I thought only force-sensitive people could sense if someone died or not, and all of a sudden Finn can sense Rey's dead. Like that made absolutely no damn sense to me. But I wanted to share this because I think that this is what has haunted me the most. Was if he had truly changed from the throne room scene. And going into this film, I still had hope for that. I really did. Because just given the whole, like even the setting, like if you remember in the end of the movie, you see this light trying to get through this window and he's still in the darkness, and I just think it like perfectly encapsulates what he's feeling on the inside. Like light is trying to get inside of him and he's still kind of keeping it out, and I still thought there was hope for him there going into the movie. But what did you think of Harrison Ford showing up as a Force ghost? What did you think of that?
Okay, so my biggest pet peeve is the whole situation with Leia, which I understand why they did it, obviously, with the situation with Carrie, but that whole big hole about how they're saying, like, oh, she knows what she has to do to save Ben. So is that her projecting? And that's why she used up all her power, like her life force? I was totally confused how that all broke down. And we know Han was not force sensitive. I mean,
Right.
we know that. So it's like, is that truly just a depiction from Ben's mind about?
I think he says that in the scene.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I did.
Let me hold your face. Let me hold your face.
Yeah. I did like the dad and the I know part. I don't know. But again, that's kind of the whole going down memory lane, nostalgic,
Okay, and am I incorrect here when I say that he says, Kylo, Ben, says it in every movie, I know what I have to do, I just don't know if I'm strong enough to do it, or something along those lines.
Yes.
Like, why are we repeating the same stuff?
Right, I know. Give me something different, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, this is how I feel about Leia. I'm sorry. I really am sorry, but I couldn't stand how those scenes were edited in. So it's like it just made no sense, from a story perspective. Inserting her in there so awkwardly and then having people like work around that. It's just, yeah. I did enjoy the flashback scene of Luke training Leia, because I've always kind of hoped that would have happened in the past. I mean, it would make sense if she's force sensitive, then she should at least be trained a little bit in the ways of the Jedi. So I did kind of enjoy that a little bit. And yeah, what they did with Luke and lifting the X-wing up.
Cringe.
A little bit, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it was. It was. Yeah. That's all I got to say. Just real cringy. So
Okay.
I hope that makes Joker voice happy because he admitted he was wrong. Everything that he did in The Last Jedi, I was wrong. Like, okay. Yep, fixed it.
Oh, it just
So the
so
entire
wrong.
it was ouch.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get to the part with Rey and Palpatine, I literally was just counting the minutes until Ben showed up because that was the only way that I could get through that scene. And you know, when he shows up and he's just like kicking ass and killing all of those guards, like that was awesome. Let's see.
I loved his little throwbacks to Han Solo, though. The
Yes,
no
yes.
shot, the shrug and everything.
The
Like
shrug,
those were,
yes.
yes,
I
he
loved
is
it.
definitely his dad's boy. I will say that.
Yep. No, I was just gonna say that that was probably my favorite part of that whole scene. But I gotta say, I'm extremely pissed that they didn't defeat Palpatine together. Like they started out together, and then with just a wave of his hand, Palpatine just threw Ben off, and Rey had to fight him alone. Like, what was the whole damn point of exploring their connection over the course of 3 films, discovering that they are a dyad in the Force, that they are like truly unstoppable together? Like, what the fuck was the point of all that if we're just gonna cast him aside and
That's
she's gonna
it.
do this all on her own? Like I get it, she represents the light side of the Force and all of that, but I was just like, what? I don't know, I was just super pissed about that. Like there's no way that this was gonna end, you know, satisfying for me. So
You go 2 movies where she is a nobody. She is nobody. She says it over and over again. Then you say, nope, she's a Palpatine, and now we're gonna fight. And it's like, it's so like vomit inducing, like right in my mouth. Like I
yes,
just,
yeah.
it was no. Mm-mm. It
Yeah,
missed the mark so hard. There are actually no words for it.
no, there really wasn't. I just hated it. I gotta say though, I will say this. Okay, this is me trying to be positive about this film. All of the voices, all the voices that came as Rey was laying there. At the time when I first saw this in the theater, I didn't know who the hell these people were. I could like
Mm-hmm.
probably because of the sound system in the theater, I didn't really recognize any of them. I think the only one that I did recognize was Yoda because he's got such a distinct voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know any of the other Jedi that were like calling out to her through the Force. So when I was watching it this time around, it was cool to hear like Ahsoka's voice again, you know, and even Kanan from Rebels,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then finally Luke. Like it was really neat to sort of listen to these characters that I had no idea who they were. And if it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
for this journey we went on, that I would never have been introduced to them. And so I was able to appreciate that moment, you know, which I
Yeah.
thought was cool. I thought that was cool.
Well, and I watch all my movies with subtitles on because I live in a loud house and everything. So it
Well,
was nice.
in
You know
that
what I
case,
mean?
I
It
was
was to
too. Yeah.
clarify everything. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Mhm.
guessing, like, wait, that sounds really familiar, but I couldn't put a name to the sound. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's who it is. So,
Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I had to have the subtitles on for this. It's for same purposes.
mm-hmm.
Ro asks a really good question. Should they have taken material from the EU to continue?
Mara Jade.
Mara Jade, please and thank you. I mean, if they're going to include Admiral Thrawn, why not Mara Jade? You know, I mean, seriously, I know Brandy would be up for that.
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Didn't even have to think about that one. That was an instant done.
exactly. So I really think they should be going into the EU. There's a ton of great stuff in there, even though I haven't read it. I just when I listened to Brandy talk about it, like, I mean, if she likes it, and she's like a, you know, legit Star Wars fan, and if she likes it, I don't see why they can't use it in the future.
Right.
Anyway. So fingers crossed that they do. So the Reylo kiss, I'm glad that it happened, but his death sort of like completely ruined it for me. Like, it's almost like it didn't happen,
Yeah, that one moment of happiness in this poor little boy's troubled entire existence.
Entire
And
existence from the womb.
right, he gets one literal smile in his life and dies.
And then he just dies. Nothing. And I just love how Ray just kind of brushes it off and is all smiles after that. Like nothing, of consequence has happened to her. Throughout, over the course of 3 films, building this connection with someone, that is beyond our comprehension,
Yeah.
And just no big deal.
Because in between movies, they were still force Skyping, we'll call it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've had ample amount of time to get to know this individual, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Oh, Luna
Bye,
Girl,
Luna Girl.
get going. Bye, Luna Girl. Thank you so much for being with us on our journey. It's really been fun just meeting all of you and everything. So, thank you so much. I know you got to go. So let's wrap this up.
Okay.
So yeah, besides robbing Rey of what Rian Johnson tried to establish in The Last Jedi, the other thing that this film did that pissed me off beyond belief was that they robbed Anakin of his redemption from the original trilogy. Because bringing Palpatine back in so many ways just erases everything that he did. It didn't matter, and it completely undoes his bringing balance to the Force. It doesn't make him the chosen one that was prophesized over the course of 6 films. It just undoes all of that, and now Rey is the chosen one. Rey is the one that brought balance to the Force, and I honestly am having a really hard time accepting all of that because, again, this is why, why did you bring back the super villain? Because you undo everything in the past. What was the point of it then?
Not only that, but 3 whole movies you have in one person focusing on not your redemption, but all the crap you did before it. I want to finish what you started and all that. And it's like, no, he finished that. He was done with it.
He was done with that. He
literally killed the past. That was it. He was ready to move forward and be with his son, and save his son and continue to go forward. Force Ghost.
I know.
Come on.
What the hell? I don't understand why they couldn't have brought him back. Why couldn't he come back and had a talking to with his grandson, to just say, you don't want to do this. I did this and I was miserable, and look at all of the horror that I caused as a result. It did nothing good.
We get hopping Yoda. We get hopping Yoda on completely unimportant information, but you would think that trying to pull Ben back from the dark, get him going to the light, listen, you're being lied to. This is not who I was. This is whatever.
I know.
Now I done got mad again.
That should have been who he saw. It shouldn't have been his father. It should have been Anakin. That would have been the one to turn him. And Ro, I completely agree with you. It was so clear Disney did not have a vision when they decided to make a Star Wars trilogy. They clearly had no clue about what they were doing, and the direction that they wanted to go. But yeah, this just completely undoes all the other films. It's just one of the reasons why I just want to forget this happened.
Well, this is definitely a one and done, kind of like season 8 of Game of Thrones, a one and done.
Precisely, yeah. What show is that? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, okay, I'm reading my notes here. We covered this. Disney had no vision. Different. So it just shows you, when you are going to set out to make a trilogy, you don't have different directors through the different films. You don't have different writers. And specifically, you don't give the writer and the director of the second film, right sandwiched in the middle, complete and total creative freedom to do whatever he wants, because he's going to do whatever he wants. And you know, there's consequences for it. Either it's going to work or it's not going to work. And sadly, it didn't work, at least for majority of people. But it's just not smart if you're making a trilogy, you know, like there
No.
has to be continuity. There has to be consistency, you know, even if
Yeah.
it does deviate from past films and from, you know, the genre in general, as long as there's consistency and continuity, you can still make a well-made trilogy. And so, again, all I can say, I said this before, is that I am just very glad this is in the past. And we
Yeah.
have very competent people heading Star Wars now. They know what they're doing. They're making all of us very happy. And so we have nothing but good things in store for us. So, yeah, I'm personally, I'm fine. This is a bad memory, but it's in the past, and I'm at peace with it. So,
Yeah.
any final thoughts for you on this film?
No, I'm glad I did watch it. That way I could at least say I did finish the whole series. I mean, that makes me feel better. And then, you know, we've got a lot of great content coming up ahead of us, you know, a lot of things to look forward to.
We do.
But I don't ever, ever, ever want to watch it again.
No, I think this will be it for me. So
Yeah.
I might have to watch it if my son's been really getting into Star Wars and wants to sort of get to know the whole thing. So I might have to do it just one more time, but I'll do it for him. So he won't get as upset about it as I will, because as long as there's stuff blowing up, that's all he cares about.
He'll be happy. Yep.
So all right. So for those of you that are still left with us, I did have a special treat for you, because we needed something to sort of end on a positive note. So I made something that was supposed to go on our last podcast, but I completely forgot about it. So I'm going to play it for you now. It's a collection of Star Wars memes that I've had on my phone for years, that always make me laugh, especially the first one. The first one's my favorite. So I want to share that with y'all before we say goodbye. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, I'm just going to play it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's only 56 seconds, so I hope you enjoy this. Oh boy. There was a hand.
No, no, he did a job with the Addams Family. He's already working. It's okay.
Right. So I wanted to share that with you guys, just to sort of end this, you know, cringing, painful film on a high note. So I played the meme video. So, Tiffany, I cannot thank you enough for, again, taking Brandy's place throughout all of this. I owe you so much, and I hope you've had a good time.
I had a wonderful time. I'm glad I could help out, and I miss both you guys. I miss getting to have our little three-way chats and everything like that, but I'm glad I could help.
I'm very grateful for your help, and I know Brandy is too. So, and I want to thank all of you that joined us on this journey over a year ago and welcomed us into the Red 5 family. Bro, like, you've just been wonderful, fearless leader, just leading all of us and welcoming us with open arms. I can't thank you enough. I really just feel at home with all of you, and I love that I've gotten to know all of you so much. So again, just thank you guys for being so amazing and sticking with us through the hiatuses and the technical difficulties and all of that. And so while I hope that this is not going to be the last time that you see us, because as I said before, I know Brandy and I are having conversations about rebranding into something else. But you guys will definitely, know about that when we make decisions and all of that. So, but this episode does conclude our journey. So we won't be talking about Star Wars, at least for another month. We'll see what happens with Obi-Wan. Looking forward to that. But yeah, we've had a blast. Again, thank you so much, all of you. And really hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe we can all meet up in Chicago this summer. I know there's a bunch of people going. Tiffany, it would be really, really cool if you, me, and Brandy could all get together, like in a physical spot together. Like,
I know. We will make that happen. At some point, we will make that happen.
We will. Yes, that is definitely on the bucket list. So yeah, guys, that's it. So take care, and until next time, may the force be with you. Bye.
Bye.